Welcome, everyone, to the 300th episode of Tiger Claw Radio. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years and 300 episodes. My goodness. And we're still going strong. Stronger than ever. Thanks to you guys. Got a lot of stuff. Got 3 huge van casts. A lot of good van casting. I've got an interview from none other than Death Adder himself. Death Adder is joining us here on Tiger Claw Radio. It's been quite a while since I've had a guest. So, and what a guest it is. So looking forward to that. Also, we got some stuff from the Winter Chip album from Battle of the Bits, and it's going to be a great episode. So let's kick things off by digging out that album and seeing what's on it. Oh, hang on a second. Is that the Sound of Doom already? No, it isn't. Bear with me here. Did we do Winter Chip 8 last week? Yes, we did. Not 8. What number is it? My goodness. Winter Chip 14. That's right. My son was in the studio last week, and he helped me pick out the tracks. So we'll do Winter Chip 14 again this week, and then that'll be it. I feel like it's fair to do 2 weeks for these compilations because they're so huge, but I don't want it to drag on forever. Rush Jet 1 appears on this album. DBAS. I don't know how to pronounce that. But this is Rush Jet 1, who's one of these people who... he had an album up on 8-Bit Peoples back when I was first discovering what chiptunes was. So this is a guy that goes way back to when I first discovered chiptunes, and it's nice to see him still getting his name out there. Rush Jet 1 off the Winter Chip 14 Battle of the Bits compilation, right here on the 300th episode of Tiger Claw Radio. Stick around. Rush Jet 1. Oh yeah. Speaking of chiptunes, Anamanaguchi is back in the news. Oh yeah, they have a new album just getting ready to come out. Did you know that? Are you hype? I think the last... Okay, so Endless Fantasy was the last Anamanaguchi album. And I was looking around on the internet, and The one that came out before that, Dawn Metropolis, came out over 10 years ago. And that was a tough pill to swallow. So I'm curious, how long has it been since Endless Fantasy came out? It's been a long time. All right, here we go. I'm looking at their Bandcamp page right now, and Endless Fantasy is conspicuously absent. I can tell you that they're doing shows in Texas right now. They've got October 30th. They've got the Granada Theater in Dallas. Then they've got the White Oak Music Hall in Houston on the 31st. Then they go to Austin in November. And then after that, over to New Orleans, St. Louis, Columbus, Indianapolis. Come on, guys. Where are your East Coast shows? Where's Maryland? You know? Where's Pennsylvania? Where's the Carolinas? Where's somewhere that I can drive to? So the name of the new album is just called USA, and at least that's what they have listed on their Bandcamp page. Official album art is TBA. We have a album art that looks like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a VMU on a Dreamcast that says extracting USA.zip. So they're being mum's the word. But I'll tell you what we do have is we do have a 14-song track listing with one song that we can listen to available on Bandcamp. So I'm super excited. How long has it been since the last album came out, though? We need to figure this out. Hang on. All right. Just looked it up on Google. And we've got 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 6 years ago. Oh, my gosh. It's been 6 years. This album could sound completely different. I haven't listened to the one song yet. Endless Fantasy was completely different from the album that came before it. All right, we're gonna break so I can. I'm afraid to play it on the air because I think something bad might happen to my account. Like my YouTube account might get flagged, or I don't know, something happened. But hang on a second here. All right, just doing some clicking around without listening to the whole 4 minutes and 49 seconds. It sounds like they're back to their old tricks. So that should be awesome. That is that's an album that I'm anxiously awaiting. Not anxiously awaiting it enough to pay $8 to pre-order it, but I will exchange currency for it when it's released. Pre-order record / vinyl for $29. Digital album releases October 25th. So that's 2 months from now. All right, so we'll have time to discuss that more as we get closer to the deadline. But that's cool, man. That's cool. Ann Minaguchi. That's an album that deserves some airtime to discuss. And with that, geez Louise, I did 3 van casts this week, and one of them was really long. So let's go to the van without spending any more time. What do we got? 829, 828, and 826. That means this here is going to be the first one, and that was recorded on Monday. All right, boys and girls, we're going back to Monday. Buckle your seatbelts. You're listening to the 300th episode of TCR. Oh, actually, before we cut to the Vancast, let's address the interview with Death Adder. I recorded a bit with Death Adder. It runs for 1 hour. I usually keep it clean here on the air. Death Adder used some swear words because he's Death Adder. Nothing big, but there are a couple of swear words here and there. So what I'm going to do is do the show like normal, all the Vancasts, do the fail bag, and at the end of it, we're going to roll the interview with Death Adder in its entirety, and that's how we're going to close the show. So stick with us. We're going to the van. And then more stuff. TCR. All right. For real this time. Morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. Time for the Vancast. It is 66 degrees out, and it's 6:08 in the morning. Feels good, man. The summer weather has broke to give way to nice, brisk fall mornings. And I got to tell you, it's my favorite time of the year. It really is. When it starts to cool down just a little bit, but you can go outside without your jacket on for a few more weeks. Feels good. Good way to start the week on this dark Monday morning. Out a little bit earlier than I normally am. I usually, 6:20 I hit the road. But 10 minutes early so I can make my grocery store stop. Ah, boy. I spent the morning working on a mixtape. You guys know I do mixtape exchanges. It's something I enjoy. Putting together one that's specifically attuned to the 90s rock and roll, So been going through a lot of tracks from like Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and that kind of stuff, which was pretty cool, man. I think I got a solid 45 minutes aside. So I got that rounded up this morning. Just putting together a track list. Nothing to say about actually getting the tape recorded. I'll have to start working on actually getting the tape ready to go, hopefully tonight. Last couple of mixtape exchanges I did, I went with like tapes I'd already made in the past, where I just like kept the source material. I had like a 45-minute MP3 for side A and the same thing for side B, so I could produce a tape really quickly. The problem is all the tapes I was giving out are the same, so making something original for this guy, which has been fun. Because 90s was a big time for me when it came to music. I had a little Walkman. I would stay up late at night when I was supposed to be sleeping and listen to my Walkman. And I also distinctly remember playing Magic the Gathering cards with my older brother. We would listen to the top 10 on the local rock station. DC 101 is our local rock station. It's huge rock station on the Eastern Seaboard. So we would listen to the top 10 on DC 101, and we'd play Magic the Gathering cards, and we would try and tape the good songs onto cassette tapes. I remember for like 11 weeks in a row, that song, The Distance, you guys remember that song from the band Cake, was the number one song, and that was like our favorite song at the time. It's weird to think at that time, like, our favorite songs were like the number one songs. This weird brief moment in history when we lined up with the music that everybody else liked as well. Alright, give me a second here. So, I am pulling into the grocery store now, and when I get out, we will talk some video games. Hang on one second. There we are. Time to get some bananas. So I had a moment over the weekend where my son and I have been watching these Let's Plays of Super Mario Maker 2. So I was like, kiddo, I may not have a Switch, but I've got all the old Mario games. Have you ever? I don't think he's gone through Super Mario Brothers 3, or Mario World or whatever. She's like, all right, well, let's give it a try. So we started with Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, mind you, in Mario Maker 2, a lot of the levels use the palette and sprite set of Super Mario Brothers 3. They do it, they appear to be a mix. Some of them will look like, the NES games, and some of them will look like Mario World or whatever. It's like you can flip between palette sets. So I thought, this would be familiar, and he would jump right on it. So he starts playing Super Mario Brothers 3, and he's like, Dad, this doesn't look very good. Like, what are you talking about? This is the same stuff we watch on YouTube. It's Super Mario Brothers 3. It's like one of the best games for the NES. 700, 800, however many games are on the NES. This is like one of the most well-known, most well-loved games. He's like, I don't know, Dad. Don't know about this one, Dad. It's like, whatever. Take out the trash. That's enough video games for you forever. So that happened. Alright, hang on. Thank you. So that happened, and then what did we do after that? Just last night I showed him Super Mario World, and he was like, okay, this looks better. I think I can do this. So my son has succeeded in making me feel ancient as I finished off the weekend with my tired old bones playing Super Mario World with my son. Not too much in the way of Steam going on this weekend. You know, I like my computer games. I sat down with a game called 8-Bit Boy, which was okay. It's somewhat of a generic side-scroller that I found in my Steam library. I thought a new platformer was just what the doctor ordered, and that was what I played. I have no idea what this game retails for. It's not a lot. It's probably like $3, somewhere between $3 and $5. And it was a charming little game. But nothing to write home about. Nothing I would give a glowing recommendation. Alright, give me a second here. You know what I played last night that was good, though? I'm not much of a mobile games kind of guy, but I have a game called Game Dev Story on my phone that I've had for years. It's been in my Google Play account for years. I've played it on several different devices now. I think that's worth a shot. Game Dev Story. I think that was I can't think of the name of the game, but this was a game that was plagiarized several years back on Steam. Like, it's a Steam game that's just like it. Clearly a plagiarization of Game Dev Story. You have a little team of people and you're trying to develop games, right? So you'll start a project and you pick out the genre, or you'll license it to a machine that's popular at the time. And then as the years roll by, you see new consoles come out, and they're like imitations of real life stuff, like the Siaga instead of Sega, the Siaga Exodus instead of the Sega Genesis, things like that. So that's been pretty fun. It's kind of ironic that I would sit down with a mobile game, considering all the crazy junk I have on Steam. But I played that last night. It's probably like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting in bed. I'm like, you know what? I haven't opened Game Dev Story in a couple of years. Let's give that a try. All right, hang on. Come on, guys. So that was pretty cool. Not a free game. I don't know what it costs. I think I paid like $2.50 for it in a sale. Again, many years ago. I do know that it's one of several games like it, where you do similar things. That'd be worth a look if you've never heard of it, or if you've played the Steam version that plagiarizes it. You can check out the original Game Dev Story. So it's Monday morning. I'm pretty far from the weekend. Usually at this point, whenever I talk about what I'm looking forward to playing, it ends up being pretty, miles away from what I actually end up playing. But right now, in this moment, next weekend, I'm looking forward to playing Rise of the Triad. The old school, I want to say first-person shooter, but Rise of the Triad is so old. That was the era when we were still calling first-person shooters, we were calling them Doom clones. So that's what I think of when I think of Rise of the Triad. It's a Doom clone. Classic game. It's been released on Steam in a couple of different formats. There was an Apogee classic pack that had Rise of the Triad along with Blake Stone. There was also like a standalone version that came in the 3D Realms Mega Pack. And then there was also a remake top to bottom, like a remastered version of Rise of the Triad. So I would recommend that's hang on a second. Alright, so Rise of the Triad's got like a bit of a weird story, and since I don't have the history in front of me, I can't really go over it. But I seem to recall that it was being developed as the sequel to Wolfenstein. So it has enemies in it who appear to be in like Nazi uniforms, but not quite. Because however it came to pass that it was no longer the Wolfenstein sequel, they must have stripped all that out. So you got a pretty sweet castle backdrop type area, and then you've got we'll call them enemy soldiers who say halt a lot. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Weird weapon system. You pick up rocket launchers, but you only have one. You can only pick up one, and there's many different types, right? So you'll have a bazooka, and then you'll come across like a heat-seeking missile launcher, and to pick up the heat-seeking missile launcher, you must then drop your bazooka. So you got those, and then on top of that, you've got like your regular pistol or machine gun or whatever, and that just has infinite ammo. So weird weapon system, even for the time, right? Because if you think back, as far back as Wolfenstein, they had specialized weapons with limited ammo. So it seems weird to have not just controlled amount of weapons you can carry, but no, limit on your standardized weapon. Very weird. I don't know. It works. It really works. But yeah, very. And what's weird is I'm just kind of thinking about that now for the first time. Is the weapon system of Rise of the Triad compared to the other games that were out at the time. But yeah, that's a cool game. I will say that Rise of the Triad's a game where you got to crank the difficulty up a little bit. Just because you got maze-like levels, and if you play on too easy a difficulty, then you've got one or two enemies to shoot, and you just end up wandering around the empty levels. So I played a brief stint of Rise of the Triad, a couple weeks back, and I had a good time with it. Right now, in this moment, I'd like to go back and try it again. I think that's what I'm looking forward to playing the most. I'm not going to play all the way through it. I'm not starting an epic trend of, whatever, but I would like to just, dance with it a little bit. Just play a level or two. That's what I would play. It also occurs to me that I never beat Blood. You guys remember when Blood came out? I can't even think of what it's called now, but the newer version of Blood, how they remastered it, and they fixed the online multiplayer, and they put it out again. Well, the online multiplayer is dead now. But I did start playing through it, and I got pretty far. So that might be another one I might be looking forward to playing this weekend, is going back and revisiting Blood to finally beat it. I need to add that one to my finished games list because I think it's about time. I've had one unit Whole Blood on GOG and Steam for many years. But now that we've got proper, mouse and keyboard controls and all that stuff without a ton of finagling and options, now I think it's time to take that game to task and really finish it. Because these are my games, man. Old school first-person shooters were like my favorite games for many years. Best games. So I feel like I really should have some of the core classics beaten. You know what I mean? How we doing now? 15 minutes in? Alright, boys and girls. I guess we can put a fork in it for today's Vancast. I'm going to send you guys back to the studio where there's video games and there's hot tea and a nice cushy office chair, because that's where I want to be right now. You lucky dogs. I'll see you there. Back here in the studio, I forgot all about Rise of the Triad. That's right. Monday morning I was kind of amped to play that game, but it hit me all at once when I was already in the car. So it was too late to give it a quick test spin before work. And then I think by the next morning when I had time to play games again, I had already forgotten. Yeah, Rise of the Triad. I'm going to play that after we finish recording tonight's episode. But first, let's take a minute to thank the sponsors. This is a Patreon-sponsored program. These guys give their resources to make sure every week we come back, no matter what. Even through the birth of my new son, who will be here this coming September. and we're all super excited here in my house for that. So thanks to these guys. They are Hemrock, James, Sendu, Tecmo Balls, Darabka, and Konstantin Kelman. You guys, you few, are making a huge impact. So thanks, and I hope you guys are enjoying the partying and hanging out and talking about video games and listening to some tunes. It's been a great time making it. And with that, let's see what else we got here. If there was ever a chiptune that had soul, boys and girls, this is it. It's called Toro Win, and the name of the song is Carried Away. I don't know what number song this is on the album. Actually, it's worth looking up. This is track 34. Man, so you'll have to dig for this one, or you're going to be hanging out listening to music all night before you get to it. Track 34. It's got some soul. It's really got something real. This is off the Winter Chip 14 from Battle of the Bits. By the way, that album, you can still get it for free, but it's only free for a limited time. The next time they do a release on Bandcamp, it goes away, and it costs $5. So get yourself a copy now. And I'm glad I'm saying that because I still have to go get my copy, pay the $1, get it added to my Bandcamp collection so that I can get unlimited downloads forever. But anyway, let's hear the chiptune. Again, this one's from Toro Win. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. This next trip to the van, I felt I touched on a few nostalgic spots that really took me back, and it had me riffing for a while. So we got 27 minutes. This was a bit of a doozy, but I always enjoy these. I hope you do too. These are the ones that make deluxe episodes of TCR. This is why when it happens. So let's go hang out and talk about some video games. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. Let's go to the van. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's the Vancast. 6:21 degrees outside. And I can tell that it's getting later in the year because the sun isn't quite up yet. So it looks like, excuse me, from here on out, I'll be driving to work in the dark for the rest of the year. No big deal. I actually enjoy it a little bit. Get down to the office and see the sunrise from my cube out the window. It's not bad. It really isn't. It is 68 degrees outside. It's feeling good. The heat of summer has finally broken. This past weekend was really nice out. In particular, we had I think at one point over the weekend we had 64 degrees. 64 degrees at 1 in the afternoon. Bright sun. Oh, it was great. So let's see. Last night and this morning I spent entirely playing. Played a little Quake yesterday, the original Quake. I can't even remember what I was thinking when I loaded it up, but I loaded it up just to try something, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna play through the main story on normal and a no save run. And I shotgunned episode 1. I burned through it super fast. And I started running through episode 2. And I ended up at this level where there's a big open room and then a single sort of peg hub in the middle. And you go across a bridge to the peg hub, and then you hit a switch, and then another bridge opens up, and then another and another, and eventually what you have is a wheel with spokes, So this is where I left off after completing the first episode without dying or saving. And most of the second episode, I got to this level, and I hit a button that extends one of the bridges, and I started running across the bridge while it was being extended. And I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but I somehow fell off the end and got in front of it as it was extending, and it ended up crushing me. So that was unfortunate. That was how my no save run in Quake ended. Which is something I'd like to try again. Sometime soon. It's a fun way to breathe life back into a game I've played many, many times. Alright, give me 1 second here. Apart from Quake, the big one was Unreal Tournament. I had been playing Quake, and I was like, you know what? Let's give Unreal Tournament a try. My copy of Unreal Tournament in Steam comparatively does not have a lot of hours in it. At this point, it's got 31 or maybe 32, something like that, hours. And you got to understand, this was a game I had big box when it came out, right? I bought it when it came out, and I played it a ton. At that time, it was the number 1 game. I know Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 kind of went head to head because they were very similar, but I was in the Unreal Tournament camp, so this was a game I played a lot. So the meager 31 some odd hours that Steam shows is not accurate towards how much I've actually played this game. So I loaded up Unreal Tournament yesterday. It's a long story short. I loaded up Unreal Tournament yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Let's just start playing through that single player campaign. It doesn't have much of a single player campaign. It's chained together bot matches for each one of the game modes. But you know what? I never played all the way through it. I never did. I did it with Quake 3 for the first time 2 years ago or so. Never did it with Unreal Tournament. So I'm looking to add Unreal Tournament to my list of games that I've finished after all these years. So I started playing through the single player campaign, and man, I gotta say, I was having a blast. I forgot how fun Unreal Tournament is. It's a really good game. Give me a second here. The deathmatch I just poured through. I've completed all the deathmatch. Then I started playing Domination. Domination's where it gets a little sketchy. If you're not familiar with Unreal Tournament, it's basically like control point based deathmatch. You got 3 control points and then 2 teams, and your team has to possess the control points, in order for it to add points to your score, right? And that's where it gets dicey, because you're playing with bots. So at that point, I had to start learning how to, press V on the keyboard and start giving orders to the bots, telling them to, hold in certain positions so they could defend the points and whatnot. Because I noticed that as you would walk around the level, if you didn't say anything, the bots would default to follow you. Hey, you got point. I'll follow you. Yeah, great. So It took a little bit of ordering them around, but I got through it, and I played all the way through Domination, and you know what? It was a good time. It was a good time. Domination is weird in that, like, I always remembered having a blast with it with the bots, but I don't really remember playing much Domination online. Unreal Tournament is still populated, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get a Domination match going. You can still go in and shoot it out with everybody, don't worry. You know, there's still people playing it after all these years. But Domination, not so much. So I did Domination. Then I moved on to Capture the Flag, and this is where I'm at right now. I played 3 rounds of Capture the Flag, and I had a good time with it. Now the ordering around of the bot allies has become a little bit more intense. Alright, you two are going to defend the flag. You're going to try and get the flag, and I will try and get the flag as well. Alright. So, I can't remember the name of the map, but I was playing it this morning, and I got in a bad stalemate. The map was really wide open. It was like 2 castles at like opposite ends of open fields, with sort of like a mountain in the middle that you had to go through. So my defenders were protecting our flag sufficiently, but I couldn't break through and get the flag myself. I think the entire opposing team was playing defense. And I went round and round like that for probably about 20 minutes. Good solid 20 minutes. And then I eventually gave up. So I'm going to give that another try, hopefully tonight. But yeah, man, Unreal Tournament, having a great time with it. It's always interesting whenever I install Unreal Tournament, it's always like I got to start from scratch with the mods again, because this is one of those games like Quake where I can't really have a totally vanilla build, because I know the game is capable of so much more. Mutators, at the very least. We get these mutators where it's like, if you're going to play like a deathmatch game, you can change the game slightly by saying, okay, all of a certain weapon, or no rocket launcher, you know, low gravity, those types of things. Those little rules you put on it to change things up. Well, you can download additional mutators. It's like a low-level mod that you could just kind of drag and drop and make work. And it's what I downloaded the most back in the day, was additional mutators. I gotta go get some of those. But yeah, man, excellent game. And it kills me. Unreal Tournament was $20 when it was brand new. All right, think about how much a game costs now. And this was like I think the best we had at the time. It was like a AAA game. There wasn't, there was no Crisis or anything like that. No. Unreal Tournament was the cream of the crop. The Unreal Engine was still pretty new, Unreal had been out, but yeah, this was the game for $20, and that was it. And then you got it, big gorgeous box with 2 discs in it, instruction manual and everything else. Oh my gosh. Alright, so yeah, $20 back in the day, and now I think it's $10 regular price, but if you hang on to the Steam sales, that one goes down to $1.99, or lower. So every time that happens and I see it for so cheap, I'm like, hey guys, this is the game. It's Unreal Tournament. It's Unreal freaking Tournament. And it's kind of sad that it's not a bigger deal when that happens. But it is what it is. We've got so much more and to play, so much more sophisticated software to see. And Unreal Tournament was just It was robust like nothing we'll ever have again, that's for sure. There was 32 stock maps, son. 32. And they added map packs as time went on. They had, oh, here's an expansion pack. Go download the latest expansion pack. And it was free, and you could just download it. Took forever, because everyone was on dial-up at the time, but yeah, it's good times. Dating myself with the old Unreal Tournament again, which is something I know I've done here on the air before, but my goodness, what a good game. Darabka and I had talked in the past about setting up an Unreal Tournament server, like throwing down some money and just renting a server for the summer. I think you can get one for like $10 a month. So yeah, I would do that. $30, and then you got an Unreal Tournament server for the summer. That'd be fun. We've run servers in the past. It costs a little bit of money, but yeah, if that's what you're playing at the time, then yeah, it's totally worth it. Be in full control and whatnot. Yeah, that'd be a good time. That would be a good time indeed. All right, where are we at now? Oh boy, there's deer in the road. Deer in the road. Honking the horn doesn't do anything. It's a waste of time. Deer in the road. Not trying to smash into a deer out here. So that was cool, and I know this is one of the... Unreal Tournament is one of the games, all right? There was only a handful of games that I had when I was younger that I loved, that I owned and was like inducted into the big box PC games that I have that's still around, and Unreal Tournament is one of them. So every time it comes up, I feel like it's a game I talk about all the time, and I'm saying stuff that's been said before, but it feels good to go back to that time period. You know what I mean? Just feels good. Ooh, dead fox in the road. Oh boy. Sorry, mate. Next time, stay in formation. Yeah, like, here's another bit about it. So when Unreal Tournament came out, it came out in a blue box, right? A nice, gorgeous blue box. And then shortly after, there was a Game of the Year edition, which came out in a red box. And I remember getting the blue, I remember very specifically owning the blue box and my friends owning the red box. The updates were free. So if you owned the blue box, you could get all of the stuff that was in the red box, but you had to dedicate like an entire afternoon to downloading and getting stuff installed. So it was just a matter of what color you wanted the box to be. And I was always proud of the fact that I had the initial release. I had UT99, not Game of the Year edition, which I was always proud of. Of course, it was amongst the games that were lost when my mom purged my big box PC collection at 17. But thankfully, of all of those games that I lost, Unreal Tournament is one of the few that's still attainable. Like, I don't know what it costs now, but I know it's not hundreds of dollars. I had Unreal Tournament. I never had the original Unreal in a big box, though. I never got that. We had the original Unreal as a pack-in with my brother's Gateway computer. He bought a Gateway 2000 from a brick-and-mortar store, actually. And they gave him one of those little fluffy cows. You remember how Gateway used to come with those squishy cow toys? He had one of those hanging around. And that came with like a few games packed in. I remember it being House of the Dead, like this point-and-click edition of House of the Dead for Windows, and Turok and Unreal. Unreal did come out again later on. This is, okay, to put it into perspective, I'm getting the releases confused. There was Unreal and there was Unreal Gold, and they were not the same game. Unreal was what we had. So the first initial release of Unreal. His computer had a Voodoo graphics card, which was brand new at the time. It was like the hot hardware. So they packed Unreal in. All of the, actually in retrospect, all of those games were like 3D 3D rendered games to kind of show off the graphics card. And then later when Unreal Gold came out, I remember seeing it in the stores. And I remember seeing it in the stores for cheap, even at the time. Like, the big box version was going for $9.99. Like, this is after Unreal Tournament came out. And I kind of wanted to get it, because I wanted to own the box, because I was collecting the big boxes at the time. But I never got around to it. And there was another thing where the big box version of Unreal had a great big giant hole in the front. It was like, you had the big box, but then there was a cutout on the front so that you could see inside of it the size of a CD case. It was very strange. It might be worth looking up, what the box looks like on Google image search if you've never seen it. But I never quite got around to getting it. And I wanted to, because the original Unreal had problems with multiplayer. Multiplayer did not work out of the box in the original Unreal. I think they fixed it with Unreal Gold, but the original Unreal, I only ever played it with bots. I never, not one time, got a successful multiplayer match going of Unreal. And goodness, I tried, because I used to search servers on GameSpy, and I would see Unreal games being played. So I knew people were making it work, but I don't know. I never did. I know. I've talked about all this stuff before. Talked about all of this before many times, but it feels good, man. It felt good. All this was just rushing through my head, just like in an unbroken stream of consciousness yesterday as I was playing the game. Just one of those games that takes me back every time I touch it, even if only for a few minutes. It took me back in a big way, in a positive way, which is always nice. All right, give me a second here to focus on traffic. Yeah, so that's that. So I got my eye on this Ion, I don't even know what it's called now. It used to be Ion Maiden, now it's like Ion Fury or Ion Storm or Ion Please Don't Sue Us. I've got my eye on this game. The company's doing backflips to appease everyone. At first they were like, no, we'll take out the offensive jokes, and then they were like, no, we'll leave them in. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want from us? What do you want us to do with this game so that you won't be upset? So I've got my eye on Ion whatever, just because it's a classic build game. Like, I wouldn't say classic because it's new, but it's built with a classic build engine. And if it has a level editor in it, then I might pick it up. I might actually pick this one up early, just so I can play it if there's populated multiplayer. I don't know. But I like the idea of an old school FPS. Those are words where it's just kind of like a Quentin Tarantino movie, where it's just like, all right, there's an implication that it's going to be worth my time. Not all of them are. There are some that aren't great, where they make new games look like old FPSs. But those are attention-getting words for me. I guess I've also been on a bit of an old FPS kick lately. So, how are we doing? My goodness, 19 minutes and 27 seconds in. And last week the podcast ran short. I think we only ran like 47 minutes last week, so this one's going to be doubly long. My goodness. Oh boy. I read a tweet last night that what is the name of the record label? One of the big vaporwave record labels might be closing down. Palm 84, I think it's called. I had bought tapes from these guys too. I bought it's like Chibi. I'm gonna get all the names wrong, but Chibi City News or Chibi Sports Center or something like that. I don't know. I bought like a news desk / weather channel themed vaporwave tape from this company, and I liked it a lot. Like, the music was great. It was real chilled out. Had a good running time, so it wasn't like I dropped $10 on a little tiny tape. And the packaging was really good as well. It was like a blue translucent glitter tape. It was really fancy, actually. I was really happy with it. But apparently they've been having, they put a couple of vinyl records on sale. And the company that they go through to fulfill the orders is like not coming through for them. And a lot of people are upset about it. I was looking around on, I saw the tweet. There was a tweet that just said, "Well, it's been a good run. More info later." No, what did he say? It's been a good ride. And my response was, "Please tell me you were at the fair and you just got off a ride, and that's why it was a good ride." But yeah, it looks like guy showed up on Reddit. He was like, "Yeah, I'm having all these problems with the orders. I can't get it right. And on top of that, I have a regular job to hold down, and my regular job is going crazy." So people's responses were, maybe you shouldn't be running a record label then. And it kind of sounds like the guy agrees, and the label might be shutting down. But we'll see. The reason I bring it up now is because I want to remember to talk about this back in the studio. But I have a feeling once I'm back, at my machine and I have all my stuff in front of me, all of this is going to totally escape my head. It's all going to go right out the window. I'm pretty sure it's Palm 84 is the name of the company. But that was very sad. Because this is a company where, I looked at I bought the one tape, and I had other ones in mind that I wanted to get. And then on top of that, the two records that they're talking about, I saw those records when they got released. They both look very good. Especially if you're into Vaporwave. Vaporwave on vinyl can be a bit of a hassle because companies like to make records and only produce 30 copies or something, and then they sell out really fast. That way they can guarantee their run will sell all the way. It's just little short hop investments, and they create vinyl lotteries. So what happens is if you get a bigger artist and they do a vinyl release, they can sell out very, very quickly. Famously, Cat System Corp released Palm Mall, one of his albums, on vinyl through some company, and everybody knew when it was coming out because he made an announcement. It's like, all right, Sunday this thing is dropping. So I had my phone set up so that when the company that was producing the record, once they released it, when it went up on their Bandcamp page, my phone would go off. And my phone went off as I was driving my family home from church. And I was like, all right, there it is. Got to get the record. So I pulled over to a gas station, and then I pulled out my phone and started trying to push the order through, and they were sold out already. So this particular record, the run was pretty small, granted that, but it was also highly sought after. So by the time it dropped in Bandcamp, it was too late. It was over already. So, I think these releases that this company was dealing with, though, weren't like that. They kept the doors open, because I think even as of last night, if you look at their Bandcamp page, it still looks like the records are available for order, which is a problem. If they can't fulfill the orders and they're still taking new ones, it's something they got to go sort out. But whatever. I got back on a Vaporwave kick yesterday, or a couple days ago. There is a label called DMT Tapes FL, right? And they release a new album once a week, sometimes more. So they've got 700 plus albums in their catalog. And there was a video from Pat Chennington, I don't know, I think that's the guy's name, talking about this company and this guy and what he does. And that kind of got me back in a Vaporwave kick again. I collected a few of the tapes, Vaporwave tapes are not cheap. I've got a bunch of the albums on my phone, which I play when I drive. I run into problems, though, trying to play Vaporwave on the air. I'll play a Vaporwave track on TCR, and then the episode will get claimed but not by the person who made the song. It'd be like whoever they sampled from. It's very weird. Which, considering the Wild West mentality of sampling in Vaporwave, it makes total sense, but it makes it difficult to deal with playing the music on the podcast. You know, what are you going to do? Small problems. All right, 25 minutes in. Jeez Louise. I'm sorry, maybe this is too long for a Vancast. And here we are, Wednesday morning, on my way to the office. The weekend still feels like it's miles away. But what am I looking forward to playing this weekend? Right now, all I can think about is going back and playing more Unreal Tournament. I want to finish that. I want to add that to the ranks of the finished games. But not just Unreal Tournament. If I had to pick another game in an FPS kick, man, I want to try the original Quake again, which is ridiculous, I know, because Quake's another game I put a ton of time into before getting it on Steam, and even my Steam copy has 119 hours on it. So, yeah, put a lot of time into Quake. But yeah, that's it, man. These are chill-out games for me. Absolutely the most chill you can get. Chill out, comfy games. I like to turn on those games and just chill out and pretend it's 1998 again. 1998, 1999. And, yeah, just have a good time. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most this weekend, is just chilling out. And right now, chilling out to me is Unreal Tournament. Being locked in a deadlock stalemate in Capture the Flag that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get through. And with that, boys and girls, I'm finally going to send you guys back to the studio. 27 minutes and 25 seconds of Vancast. Wow, big jumbo Vancast. Thanks for hanging in there. Hope it wasn't too long. See you guys back in the studio. Back in the studio, boys and girls. Just a little bit more information on the Palm 84 situation. Palm 84 is indeed the name of the label. There's a lot of stuff on here. I mean, the downloads are free, but the physical media, you know, you can get tapes, you can get records. They do a great job. They carried a record they carried a tape from Desco Radio Club EP, now out of print, but man, I would have liked to have got a copy of that. And I think right now, Sparkling Water, Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night is one of the albums that is on vinyl. It's like a highly sought after record, along with Silver Richard's album Volume 128. Just a couple of records, you know. You go to Palm 84 on Bandcamp and listen to the music and see if it strikes your fancy, because I dig it. And I always forget the name of the one I have, because the tape that I bought, to me in my head, it's the News tape. That's what I always call it. Yeah, here it is. News Center 8. And the artist is Chibi City Blues. And I've played that. Oh man, I got a push pin on my foot. That didn't feel good. I've played them on the air, but yeah. So a little bit more information on what happened. The guy put out a tweet that said, well, it was a good run. And then he put out a tweet like after that saying, I essentially said it was shutting down. Fortunately, this is not the case. However, it's clear to me that this tweet may have upset some people. I apologize for that. Suffered a mental breakdown, unwell, not only mentally but physically. He was sick, tired, not thinking straight. Guy's having a hard time. Okay? The label has done a lot of good. There's a lot of really good music on it that's available for everybody. So I kind of feel the need to throw this guy some well wishes. Palm 84, if you got a moment, you want to just go grab some free tunes, he's out there. All of his artists still have their music available on his label, which is great. There's some good stuff here. I would like to do a Palm 84 special. I'm honestly afraid to put it on my YouTube channel because something might happen. You know, somebody they sample from might claim the video. I might get in trouble somehow, but I would like to do a Palm 84 special and put it up just on Podomatic and then for the patrons. So we'll see. Hopefully I can make that fly. But that's the situation with Palm 84 in a bit more detail than I could go into in the Vancast. I don't know how I'm going to handle this because I still have another Vancast. I still have another Vancast left to go. I've got comments to read, and we've got an hour interview with Death Adder. So this is going to be a jumbo episode indeed. But you know what? Let's stick to the format. Why not? Why would we deviate from the format now? Let's go back to the Battle of the Bits compilation that just came out, especially now while it's still brand new, and we're playing it for the last time. After this episode, we're done playing that on there. We're going to move on to something else. So let's go check it out. This track is from KGB525, who we've played here on the air many times. The name of the song is Turbo Engine Force. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio, 300 episodes. Stick around. Morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It's time for the Vancast. 6:20 in the morning. I'm pulling out. It is a frosty, nice 64 degrees outside right now. Very nice weather. Give me a second here. Make sure I'm not pulling out into somebody. And we're good. We are off to work. All right. So, last Vancast, I was talking about Unreal Tournament and how I'd got Unreal Tournament installed, and I was playing that again. So I played that a little bit more last night and this morning. So last night, well, first of all, I played Unreal Tournament like online with people. I jumped into a couple servers to see what was and was not populated, see how it went, and I fell into a Capture the Flag game in Facing Worlds, the map Facing Worlds. If you played Unreal Tournament, you probably know that one. That's the most popular of the Capture the Flag maps. It has these two fortresses, and then there's a field made up of two paths between the two fortresses, and then there you go. It's the most popular Capture the Flag map in the original Unreal Tournament. So I played that, and let me tell you, going from playing bots to actual people in Unreal Tournament is quite a jump, because it was a rude awakening. I got blown away quite a few times. I didn't leave that game scoreless. I did okay. You know, I took a couple people down. It was all right, but yeah, it was a different experience. It was a different experience, and the last time I played Unreal Tournament, I talked about how there was like a score gridlock. Yeah, playing Capture the Flag online in Unreal Tournament is beyond a score gridlock. That's a really weird thing, because I used to do that quite a lot back in the day, I would play these capture the flag games, and I wouldn't stick it out the whole game. I would basically just play for my personal stats, try and get kills and whatnot. Which these days, looking back, seems very strange. But, especially before Unreal Tournament, that's what was available. If you wanted to play Team Fortress, there was no payload maps. It was all capture the flag in the Quake days. So we'd sign on to capture the flag in 2 Forts 5 and basically just play it like Team Deathmatch and go to town. It was a good time, man. Had a lot of fun. So I did that a little bit. But what I did that I found most interesting was I was looking at the server browser in Unreal Tournament. Now, Unreal Tournament, when you're browsing for a server, that I think is probably the most authentic, late 90s internet feeling that you're going to get, right? You've got, excuse me, the way it's laid out, you've got tabs, you got a little server browser, and you have a chat tab. So I logged into the chat tab, and basically what it is there's an IRC server that's hooked up, so when you click chat, it drops you into an IRC server, into like an Unreal Tournament channel. A lot of games do this, where there'll be a little multiplayer chat, and it's all based off a little internal like IRC server that's programmed in. So that was pretty neat to see, because I think that used to be a bigger practice than it is. You still see it sometimes. The most recent example I can think of is Guncraft. Had an IRC room built into it. So I saw several people parked in the IRC, but dead as a doornail. Of course, nobody actually talking. But getting dropped into an IRC really took me back. Do you guys remember when those used to be like the places to hang out? Before there was Discord or any of that stuff. I think it might have even been before Skype. Your favorite website probably had their own IRC room, and people would just sit in the IRC channel, for hours on end, and just text chat with each other. I can't even imagine doing that now. Now I think if I re-downloaded like Merc or something, or found some populated IRC channels, I feel like it's like watching a Charlie Chaplin movie. It would get, the novelty would be there and it'd be great, but it will only last for like 60 seconds, and then I would immediately be tired of it. That's what I think would happen. I had a lot of fun with IRC back in the day, though, especially in the dial-up days, because it didn't take much bandwidth to support bumming around in an IRC. I remember the MS-DOS game ZZT. This is jumping topics a little bit, but Epic Mega Games' first game was a little top-down ASCII graphics shooter game for MS-DOS, but it had like a game builder in it. So there was like a weird community that popped up around building ZZT games. And I remember the ZZT people had an IRC, and logging into the ZZT IRC as a stranger it's probably the last time I ever remember dropping into like a populated IRC. I mean a real populated IRC that I logged into from an IRC client. I'm not talking about messages back and forth in the internal Guncraft IRC that you can only get to from inside the software. That was a long time ago. I wouldn't even venture a guess as to what year that was. All right, let's guess. Maybe 2006, latest. I don't know. But it was a long time ago. That little community's still around, though. I don't know if the people are still active on it, but I know the Z2 website is still there. If you want to go download some ZZT games. I don't know. ZZT is a thing I feel like I should do a video on explaining what on earth that was and the giant community that went behind it and all the crazy amount of man hours that went into making these tiny little ASCII graphics shooting games. Because it was bizarre how much depth there was to that community. Very strange. So that was my gaming adventures for last night and this morning. Last night I did more online stuff, and this morning I did some more bot matches. Except I wasn't playing through the main campaign. I just did like some practice matches so I could mess with the mutators. I used some relics, which is like the Unreal Tournament answer to RuneQuake. You've got runes that just sort of pop up out of nowhere, and you'll get like the speed rune, and you'll move much faster until they can manage to kill you. So that was fun. I feel like I gotta crank the difficulty up a little bit though. Alright, where are we at now? Alright. So as of right now, I'm still looking forward to playing FPS games this weekend. But interestingly enough, another thing that I really would like to do is spend some time downloading mods. I don't know. I just want to see some mods, see what's out there. I went to the Mod Nexus website and recovered my account last night. I used to use the Mod Nexus for Morrowind mods. That's the only thing I ever really went there for. But I went looking to see if they had anything for Unreal Tournament, because Unreal Tournament had like tons of mods and stuff, but the main cultural hubs are down now, as far as I know. So they had a couple things, but nothing really, nothing awesome. But yeah, I recovered that account, and I was looking through the games that are available, like the games they actually have decent mod libraries for. And there's games that I have but haven't played yet, or games that I haven't like downloaded mods for ever before, like XCOM Enemy Unknown. Not the original XCOM, but like the remake that came out in like 2013 or whenever it was. That apparently is a pretty moddable game, because they had a lot of mods for that. So, and I've had that in my Steam library forever, so I might finally try the newer XCOM after all this time. I liked the original XCOM. I didn't play it as much as Sean. Like, I don't have hundreds of hours into it, but I always thought it was a really brilliant game. Very well done. It did things that no other game did back then. So yeah, downloading some mods will be fun. Playing some first-person shooters would be fun. And I kind of want to download MIRC, good old Merc. See if there's any IRC channels that are still active. I feel like that would be fun. Maybe hook up an old 800 by 600 monitor. Do it in a 4:3 aspect ratio, the way IRC was meant to be done. Alright, and with that, boys and girls, excuse me, I'm going to send you guys back to the studio. I'll see you there. I never did go back and install more mods for any other games. The last mod I installed was the Deus Ex voice pack for Unreal Tournament. Now, let's be fair, that is an awesome mod. It really is. If you got the Unreal Tournament 99 and you feel like reinstalling it, head over to the Nexus and get the JC Denton voice pack from Deus Ex. Fits in so well. Some of those voice packs for the old Unreal Tournament didn't fit, and they were just kind of like random voice samples that sounded terrible. No. This is right on the money. What else is going on? Yeah, so we're going to go right into the comments, because there's no time to waste. We're an hour and 15 minutes in, and I still have the interview to go for. So let's see what we got. Let's go back 2 days, 5 days, 1 week. Somebody put a comment on Ski Free. What is this? Covert Brony says, lol, you skied right into the abominable snowman. That second last snowman encountered. Yep, sure did. Razzle say YT says, time for my gaming dimension to be true. This is a comment left after watching Anarchy Arcade. Go for it, man. Anarchy Arcade was a great game. I'm kind of done with it now, but I had a lot of fun making my little 3D arcades where you could walk up to the arcade machines and launch other games from your computer. I had a lot of fun with it. All right. Alex Swingle writes, at 26 minutes in, I got New Gauntlet. New Gauntlet is poop. I got all the way to the first boss with Tomcat X, and I was so bored. I alt F4'd my life. I'm actually a ghost. Mecha Menace writes, you mentioned you watched PBS Narnia movies. I'm not sure if they are one and the same, but did you ever watch the BBC Narnia movies? My brother used to take out those from VHSs from the library. I think the last one was called Silver Chair. I'm not sure if they would be as enthralling now, especially with the Britishisms, but I really dug those then. Magic, crazy characters, a portal to another world in your closet. Sign me up. Then again, I read that Red Dwarf started making seasons again. I watched the last 2 seasons and enjoyed them. They're very reminiscent of early seasons, which consisted of small casts and episode and plots that ultimately go nowhere but can be enjoyed as one-shots. The whole crew is back, too. If you like Red Dwarf, stoke a kipper and find it on the internet however you can. Oh, my gosh. There's a lot to unpack in that comment. Mecha Menace, my brother. As it turns out, you were correct. They aren't PBS Narnia movies. They were BBC Narnia movies. And I don't think they are one and the same. And I saw those when I was so young. I remember very little of them. But yeah, those are one and the same. And Red Dwarf making new seasons. Red Dwarf is an awesome show. I saw season 10 and an episode or 2 from season 11. Those were, ones they made recently. And those guys, they haven't lost a step. As many years as that show's been around, those guys haven't lost a step. They still make really good television, which is awesome. Yeah, and that's it. So I will definitely find those and watch them with my eyeballs. Death Adder replies, "You said BBC. This is a family show." That's right. We don't talk about we don't talk about the British Broadcasting Channel. Death Adder, Mecha Menace responds with, "This is a Mexican non-union equivalent." Oh my gosh, you guys. All right. Oh, I clicked away from it. Nope, come back. Oh boy, is this these YouTube. All right, Gaming Beast 82, our good friend Sean. He left a comment on the episode 298, the one from 2 weeks ago. He writes, "It was cool to hear that you and your son worked on a game. Also, you'll love Hobo with a Shotgun. You should probably focus on cult or B movies. I can recommend some if you like." Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. I would be interested to hear what cult or B movies are worth watching. Here's where I'm at right now. I watched Hobo with a Shotgun, loved it. I watched Death Proof. It was okay. It was kind of boring, but it was okay. I watched Planet Terror, and it's about the same. It wasn't boring, but it was just okay. Movies I want to watch. I want to watch a movie called Maniac Cop, and I want to watch The Reanimator. Those are both classics that I have not seen that I have to fix, and that's where I'm at. Yeah. So another one I want to watch is a movie called The Stuff, where it's like ice cream that kills people. The Stuff, Maniac Cop, and The Reanimator. That's my watch list right now. Any movies along those lines that you guys have that you can recommend, let me know. I'd be interested to hear it. Sean, my brother, good to hear from you, man. It'd be nice to play video games again. Keep holding on. Keep doing what you do, brother. Death Adder, who we're going to hear from quite a bit in the next few minutes. He says, "You'd have to eat at least 10 pounds of paint chips every single day to be able to enjoy The Walking Dead. Is that show still on? I'd rather listen to Pete Dorr read out the names of a phone book for an hour than watch that. No, thank you. All right, Death Adder. Look, I'm right there with you that The Walking Dead is not a good show, but I did enjoy it leading up to season 7. Wasn't a perfect show, but I had fun watching it. And then as soon as they did that cliffhanger where the one guy killed somebody but they didn't tell you who it was, then you had to wait a year for them to tell you. And then when the episode finally came out where they told you, they made you wait 45 minutes. When they did that, I checked out forever. And I never watched anything beyond that. So I think Walking Dead became a thing where, like, I wasn't enjoying the show anymore, but I was invested enough into the characters that I wanted to watch. And then they were like, yeah, we don't want you to be invested in the characters. So I was done. And that was the end of that. And you know what? I didn't watch any TV or really any movies or anything on my own for quite a while after that. Only recently have I been back into watching stuff again. So, yeah. So that's the fail bag, everybody. Questions, comments, anything you got. If you know me personally, send me an email. Just be clear about what I can and can't read on the air. Otherwise, just leave YouTube comments, and I'll read them. It's always cool to hear from you guys. You people who leave comments have saved the show on many, many, many occasions. So don't feel like you're bugging me. I always enjoy them. Even if you're Alex Swingle and you got a bunch of nasty stuff to say because he likes to rib me about things. And with that, we are, 1 hour and 23 minutes in. We're going to go to the interview. And again, look, I keep it work safe. I don't use swear words here on the podcast. And it has nothing to do with the YouTube algorithm either. It has nothing to do with the, YouTube and its ads. Because, look, I know Tiger Claw TV, Tiger Claw Radio, I'm not getting ads. Ads just ain't happening for me. It's not in the cards. So I demonetized myself voluntarily years before they took away ads for small channels. And I did it because I wasn't hitting the $100 threshold to get the payout. So I realized it's not worth making my viewers sit through ads. It's not worth it. So I turned my own ads off. That said, I still keep it. I still like to keep it clean because that's how I am. I like to keep it clean. So yeah, this coming interview, some 4-letter words were said. Nothing too bad. Just be aware. And with that, let's welcome my good buddy, who I talked to in real time for the first time, Death Adder from the Death Adder Super Show.
But yeah, man, how you been?
I'm doing good. It's been a little crazy at my house, but it's going well. How about yourself?
Can't complain too much, you know.
So you have been keeping up with the Death Adder Super Show. That has been one of the staples of the next round.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just once a month at least I try to get something out. Just kind of it's kind of just something to keep me sane, you know, like get stuff off the brain. But I don't know. Mecca Menace listens to it, Balzac, I believe. Swingle, of course. So it's got a following.
Yeah, I listen to it when I can, and in October when it cools down in work, I'm probably going to mainline every single episode that I've missed.
Oh Jesus! I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I'll be up late with the new baby, with nothing to do.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be super show time.
New baby in September, is that right?
Yeah, September 26th is the due date.
Congrats in real time on that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, so right now for the immersion for Swingle, I have my broken laptop over here, my working laptop in front of me, my Xbox TV on with Dead by Daylight, and the lights off. So it's like the battle zone for this.
Okay. One of the things I love about that you do on the Super Show is you will lie just about, oh hey, I'm driving down the road. That was Shao Kahn. He was in an 18-wheeler and he was punching Sonya Blade in the face.
Oh yeah, when I'm going to Outworld or something.
And it just blends right into the show, like not even like it's a big deal. It's like yeah, that just happened.
Yeah, I always hope nobody actually believes me. And I'm like, oh, I'm the coolest shit ever because it's not true. But I'm just like, oh yeah, I was fucking. I don't. We can say banging on the show, right?
Yeah,
Banging,
that's fine.
3 chicks at the same time.
It.
Like very terrifying.
I actually would kind of like to meet the person whose autism level is high enough to think that's real. I think that would be.
I don't know, man. You know the fan base. No.
Autism speaks. It's time to listen.
It does. But I brought up 2 tabs here. I have Kotaku, which was what Jerry always used, right?
Oh boy.
And
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight .com, I guess. I don't know. It's a forum, so we have some stuff to work with if we need be.
Let's talk about Dead by Daylight. I haven't played it in like a couple of months. There's been some serious updates.
Oh my gosh! When was the last big update?
I've played it like 3 times since they made the update where the hands will come out of the ground and kill the players when they try and hold the match hostage.
Oh, in game. In game's actually I think been pretty good. As since I played Killer mostly, because I've been trolled a few times where people hide in lockers and stuff,
Yeah.
So Ghostface has come out. I still don't know what his powers are. Like, I haven't bought him. And shit, somebody else, I think. I have the game up. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. The flower guy from Stranger Things is coming out, which I don't really care for that show.
I never watched Stranger Things, so it's kind of lost on me. But I know people are excited about it, so okay.
Bill, which was only on PC originally, is now on Xbox and PS4.
Okay.
So I can hear his old man screams, which is kind of comical. And then I think that's it. Yeah, some new skins. I've spent like $150 on skins and DLC characters because it's like all I've played for like a year and a half.
But if it's the only game you're playing, I get it. I fell into that hole with Street Fighter V a little bit, but come on now, you can only put Chun-Li in so many different outfits.
That's true. Well, most have been killers and stuff, but there's been probably about $30 or $40 have just been like, I don't know. I kind of want my character's hair to be blue now,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And they're so expensive, but
when they did the lunar thing, I remember really, really wanting the red dress for the Huntress. I got that full the red dress and the pig hat that she wears.
Oh yeah, I know that one, the boar one, yeah.
Boar, yeah, and then her special axe. I played a lot just to get that gear, so I get it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first game I've ever been like, I've never been like retarded for buying skins and that kind of stuff, but this is the first game that's really like, I don't know, suckered me into it.
Yeah, I get you. It is kind of nice to be that into a game, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
You know.
It's too bad we can't cross-play, but
Yeah,
you have the mouse and keyboard, so I'd probably get like dominated or something.
The fact that we can't cross-play is like, there's no good reason for it.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Rocket League and stuff, we could play PC versus Xbox and stuff like that. But
I've got Rocket League. I've only played it once, maybe twice, and never online. But I do own it.
It's got a learning curve, but after like an hour of being like, I want to kill, this game sucks, I hate myself. You're like, oh, this is pretty fun. It's one of those games. Just the way the gravity works and everything,
You know what's funny about Rocket League? I can't even remember what people were upset about, but it got a big rush of negative reviews on Steam. And I can't remember what they did. But
for real?
Yeah. And when this happened, Steam was just rolling out their thing of, well, maybe they weren't rolling it out, but they had the thing where if there's some politically motivated downvote, or if people are downvoting in response to something dumb that was said by the dev versus the game, Steam will blot it out. They'll ignore all of those ratings, which I think is garbage. This is just ridiculous. So I made a guide, like a Steam user guide, on how to show the true rating of Rocket League. And when I made that guide, that was like the number 3 guide of all guides for Rocket League. So my
yours was the number 3 of all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
So my inbox, if you look at that guide now, has exploded with trade requests that I didn't quite understand.
You became a celebrity. You didn't even mean to. It's pretty cool.
I think the comment section just became like a back alley, like psst, over here, hustle kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean it's good times, but I don't know.
Yeah, looks like a fun game. I just never quite got hooked. I think when it came out, that's when I was hooked on Trouble in Terrace Town, and I was playing that like every single day.
You know, I am kind of thinking about next gen going PC, just because, like, I don't know, I feel like that's like the adult thing to do, but I don't know, getting a console at Target's so much easier, you know.
You know, you're right. It is. I want to argue with you, and I will say that getting a PC up and running is now easier than it ever has been in the past. Like it is, the trend is getting easier. But if all you want is the box and you want all of the software to be immediately optimized for the box, I mean,
Hmm.
we can't really offer you that on in the PC land.
Plus, you know, Xbox for the memes, you know, Mountain Dew, Doritos. That's great.
What does internet for the Xbox cost now? Is it still $60 a year?
Yeah, it's still $60. I kind of just ask my woman to get it for me for part of my birthday gift every year, so I don't have to think about it, you know.
I,
And I get 48 quote unquote free games a year, and I can, you know, you have to have Xbox Live to play Dead by Daylight and stuff. So it's not the biggest pain in the ass. I don't mind it. If I had like a PS4 and Switch and had to pay internets on all those, that would suck. But for one console, it's not too bad.
You know, I have to dig it up, but I still have an Xbox Live Gold card for 1 year of gold
Oh wow.
that has never been used that I would be willing to part with. I don't know if it's
I literally just cashed in mine, or else I would offer you, as Jerry would say, dollar dues.
dollar reduce. Oh well, if I can find it, you can have it because there's no I can't I don't know how to turn it into money, and I don't have an Xbox One, and I'm not super interested in. I mean, there's some appeal. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not super interested in loading up, the age-old 360 games to see if anybody's still playing them.
Yeah, I hear you.
So you're thinking about possibly going PC, but not quite. Is there anything positive that kind of made you think that way, apart from it just being the grown-up adult thing to do?
I guess just the whole, like, once you have it, you just have to swap parts out. But I don't know. Also, swapping parts out is kind of like, you know, pain in the ass too. I guess I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's something that popped in my head. Who knows though? I think the Xbox Scarlet, codename Scarlet, is coming out next Christmas,
Yeah.
and I guess the PS5, which I saw some concept of that. Like, I don't know if it's real or not, but it looks like a boombox. It's got to be fake. But if it looks that horrible, I would go back to Sony just again for the memes. Like, it's this 1995 boombox looking thing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it's real, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I got pretty close to joining the Nintendo Soy Force. I got
Soy
close. Pretty close.
Never heard that.
The well, I mean, that is the agave nectar of consoles. That's the soy face. It just happens when you play the Nintendo. But I mean, I looked at I've been looking at like Let's Plays of Mario Maker 2 with my son,
Mhm.
and I think looking at Mario Maker 2 is the first real console game I've seen in a long time that looks good enough that I'm like, yeah, I could see owning one of those.
Yeah, Mario Maker seems pretty cool.
I've heard whispers of a similar game with Zelda Dungeons, like a Zelda Dungeon type creator. I don't know if that's real or not, but
Ooh.
that would be pretty sweet.
Well, Nintendo likes to rehash their old shit for, like, you know, 40 years, so I could definitely see them being like, all right, here's Zelda again, but you can mess with it.
Yeah, really. Ironically, having it been created in such a way where you're playing a curated collection of the user's best levels, not Nintendo's best levels, but the best levels created by the weaponized autism of the internet.
That is true.
You know what I mean? And that brings a whole different crop of WeberNet.
We don't like there's people that make PC mods and like people that go in and fix the old Star Wars movies. Those are just like fans, right? They're not even
Yeah.
the companies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen the Star Wars despecialized editions?
Oh, like the fan made ones? I have not. No, they're probably spectacular though.
It is the best in my humble opinion. Now I'm not a Star Wars fanatic,
Yeah,
but
me either.
but the despecialized editions of the original trilogy is the best Star Wars experience on planet Earth, in my opinion.
Oh wait, hold on one second. Here,
Yep.
be a second.
All right, this is quiet time here on TCR. I've got a guitar pick. I'm sitting at my desk and I got my little cup of tea. And I'm going over this because I'm not going to edit it. I can't do it. I can't go. Saying I'm going to go back and edit this segment is a great way to make sure it'll never come out. And this is the 300 episode of TCR. 300 episodes. Never thought I'd make 300. Actually, interestingly enough, I never thought I would make 100 because when I started numbering the episodes, I didn't number them in triple digits like 0001. But here we are, waiting quietly in an interview on the 300th episode of TCR.
Okay, sorry, my apologies there.
You're fine. So you're digging Dead by Daylight, right?
I'm digging it. Yeah, again, like a year and a half ago, I got into it hardcore, and I think it's almost maybe like a thing of getting older. Like I think I've played every game type or something, and this one was just like, this is comfortable, it's like comfort food.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, I have been playing other games like The Sims 4 recently because I'm Tinder on console, and Torchlight I played for a little bit.
Oh, Torchlight's such an awesome game, man. So good.
Is it multiplayer? It's got to be multiplayer, right?
Torchlight 2 is multiplayer, and it's very good at it. I was playing through Torchlight 2, a modified version of Torchlight 2 with Hemrock a few months back, and that was really awesome.
Because when I was playing, I was like, this is really cool, but I wish... Because I remember playing Gauntlet Legends on the Dreamcast with like other people. Yeah. It's like, this would be so much better if there was like somebody else with me, but... I played a little Sea of Thieves. That one is kind of like... Obviously, it's not a good game, but it's like... It's so pretty looking that I keep going back to it.
Had a lot of promise. I remember you talking about Sea of Thieves on the Super Show.
Yeah. I think I refer to it as like an abusive like girlfriend. Like it abuses you, but it's kind of nice.
That was me. Something. That was me with Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, that's the game that got me into Dead by Daylight. It's a good game.
What enormous potential.
Yeah.
It just lies dead in the water now.
I think it still crashes all the time.
Really? They can't fix it.
It is fun though, and as you stated before in your show, like it's got better graphics and
yeah,
it's good times. Hide and seek with murder, which is a term I picked up from you and used on mine a bunch for those games. Like it's fun stuff, but yeah.
Well, the last time I played it, you could bully the killer. If you're playing as Jason, you could have 5 counselors just knocking the sense out of you with baseball bats. Like, man, this isn't fun. You guys are supposed to be afraid of me.
I do get that too. That's kind of bullshit. That's why I like Leatherface and Dead by Daylight, because man, oh man, once you get somebody on the hook, let them all come at you. No one's getting them off the hook. Get that chainsaw going. I used to read. I think you've probably heard some. I used to read the hate mail I'd get on Xbox.
Yes.
And I stopped like a year ago. I still get it. But because I feel like it was kind of obnoxious to read it, but oh man, people get so mad. And I know I'm a little bit of an asshole, but I'm like, my main goal is to kill people. So
right, so you would face camp, right?
Yes.
I do that a little bit.
Sometimes I don't, and I can do good that way too. But I don't know, man.
There's certain situations where they have to expect it. Like for example, if you got somebody who's using the flashlight, and they're really slippery, and they're getting away. But you finally got them one way or the other. Maybe they got too cocky. Maybe you just got lucky. But you get the guy who's really good at it on the hook. Then I think you've got a ticket to ethically face camp the crap out of that dude.
Oh yes, the flashlight is the worst. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's why also Leatherface has Franklin's Demise, which is a perk that knocks the object out of their hand.
Yeah.
So I always have that equipped, or I usually have it equipped. So if they have a flashlight, I'm like, hello, bonk. I just take it out. It's great.
I'm a toolbox guy, so that perk's pretty brutal against me.
I still mostly play as killer, a lot because now like as survivor, like I'm a shitty survivor, I think.
Yeah.
And every time they derank you like every season or something. So now I'm playing with like rank 15 people, and I'm like, no one knows what to do, and I can't rank up. So it's pointless. So I go back to playing killer all the time.
I'm like the same way as playing Survivor. I always only played Survivor, so that it's really hard for me to switch now because I leveled up my account quite a bit. So when I play as killer, I'm not playing against the noobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found it pretty frustrating to try and get started. I still play every once in a while, but not nearly as much.
So I got a new phone recently, and I went to like the app store, and I was looking at like, I don't know. I talk about it in my episode that's going to come out, whatever. But like, there's a Dead by Daylight mobile game coming out. Have you heard of this?
No, do tell.
I looked it up on YouTube, and it looks just what you'd think it is. Like same graphics, because the Dead by Daylight graphics are terrible. So the same graphics, and then like there's people mashing the buttons to struggle free, and I'm like, that's gonna break your computer, or not your computer, your cell phone screen at some point.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks rough, but fuck, maybe we could play that somehow, you know.
I would be up for giving it a shot. Some of these games that come out on mobile platforms, I don't like Fortnite and PUBG. I don't know how you're supposed to play that on a phone. Get out of here.
Yeah,
but I'd give it a shot. You never know. I've been
could
playing.
be good times.
The games I play on my phone are usually like hot loaded dump anyway. I favor Crossy Road. That's a good phone game. It's basically just Frogger.
Play something called Battle Golf. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's just it's like 8 people, and they'll have golf balls, and you pull the thing back like Angry Bird. You know. But it's fun. It's fun. I know you can't make a mobile game sound too fun, but it's pretty fun.
Mobile games are kind of like the dirty pleasure. It's like really being into ABBA a lot, you know. It's not really something you tell people and be proud of.
You don't broadcast it, yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah, but I have a couple mobile games.
Yeah, well, my new phone's like a little bigger, so I'm like, I should probably, because my last one was like super tiny, so now I can actually play some shit on it. So
That's cool. I got my phone was just around last Christmas, I guess, around that time or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even think of what kind of phone it is. It's one of the Galaxies, S8 or S9.
I think yours is probably fancier than mine.
Yeah.
I got a Galaxy something or other. It's the smaller guy, I think.
It doesn't explode. Does yours explode?
No. I don't think it does.
Are you allowed to take it on a plane, I guess is the question.
Oh, can you not take the exploding ones on the plane? I guess that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. One of the Galaxies, the one that exploded, it was so banned from planes that there was a story about somebody who named their localized Wi-Fi network Galaxy Note S whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't actually the phone, but that was the name of their network, and they had to land the plane.
Wow. I can't believe I hear that. That's awesome, man.
Because they thought there was something on board that could explode, and they were like, "Nah, bro."
Yeah, you can't say bomb on a plane. You can't bring galaxies on the plane, I guess.
No, not at all. No fun on a plane.
So you are now at episode 300, which I'm proud to be a part of.
Yeah,
Unless
man.
I say the F word too much. So that's impressive. Like, first of all,
thank you.
Like a weekly episode for like 2 years maybe.
It's been about 2 years since we came back weekly. It was I think 174, or in the 170s is when I came back weekly. Yeah, I was talking about this while you were away. I didn't think I was going to make it to 300, but when I started the podcast, I didn't even think I was going to make it to 100 because I never numbered the podcast in triple digits. Like when I hit 100, it messed up the way the podcasts are sorted, which is something I thought was always funny about Jerry Terrifying. he started numbering the Mondo Cool cast in like 6-digit numbers.
I remember that. Yeah.
So it wasn't just episode 1, it was episode 0000001, which I
Yeah,
always thought was
I think
hilarious.
mine are in the 3 digits, like 0, 2 or something, But I remember I got that from Jerry, I believe, because he was like, he dreamed big. He's gonna hit the billion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good practice because I didn't do that, and like the only way for me to fix my archive now is to renumber every episode, which I'm not gonna do. So they just look out of order.
It happens, though, man.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm impressed that you can do that once a week because sometimes I'll record something, like going to Walmart or something. I'll be like, I'll listen to it back. I'm like, wow, this is awful. Like I can't even. No one should ever hear this. And then I delete it or something. So.
Surprisingly, those don't happen too much anymore. They do occasionally, but what happens more often to me is like, all right, it's Tuesday morning. I've got to do some kind of van cast, but I haven't played a game since I recorded last time, so I don't know what I'm going to talk about. There's just no way. So I just end up driving to work in dead silence. No music, nothing, just dead silence. With nothing but my failures floating through my brain.
It's the behind the scenes stuff here now, man. For the super fans.
Yeah, sometimes I just can't bring myself to turn it on, but I don't have too many throwaway recordings.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had quite a few segments. There was one actually did the whole thing like I made. This was probably 2017.
Yeah.
Like an hour episode. I made the artwork. I had the description. And I was like, nope, trash can.
Can't do it. You got to be careful about that, though. This is something else that I've always kept in mind. There's this perfectionist mentality that really hurts. You know what I mean? It's like it's like with music. All right. So I got this guy who listens to Desm 101. You probably heard this guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right. So he's into music. He does the SoundCloud, and he's good at it. He's really good at it. He's got some good tunes up. He's done some DJing. So this guy knows what he's talking about. But it's like, man, if you want to make an album or something, don't worry about it being perfect, because if you do, you'll never. It will never happen. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Make the thing. It's gonna have flaws. That's okay. That's kind of like what I always keep in my head, because I know the flaws are gonna be there because I'm just a regular person. I'm not, Don Rickles or some famous, broadcaster.
Jerry Terrifying.
Yeah, I'm not the great Jerry Terrifying. I'm just a measly old CF. So of course there's gonna be flaws, but
yeah, I understand. Yeah. But anyways, very impressive 300. I think I'm nearing 60. I'm gonna try to go to 69 at least for the memes.
Are you gonna do something special with the 69th episode?
Maybe Kaiser. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years either.
I know, man. Me either.
He's still in Australia, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he went all in with the Emerald Rangers, and I communicate with him a little bit through email with regards to writing articles for them, but it's very difficult to track him down for chill time these days.
Yeah, I still got to listen to the Emerald Rangers stuff. Swingle sent me a thing a long time ago. I'm a terrible internet friend, so I haven't checked it out yet, but I definitely should.
Swingle's writing on the Emerald Rangers website is very good. It's I mean, you know how sarcastic Swingle is.
Oh, yes.
And that's how sarcastic his writing is.
Yeah, he's definitely like, the Michael Jordan of being that way.
I would say that's a fair statement.
Sometimes I read his stuff he sends into your show, and I'm like, does this guy want to kill Critical Failure? Like, but then you're like, nah, he's cool.
I always picture, like, when I'm reading those comments from him, I always picture him as like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, but just one guy, and it's Alex Swingle, like the old guys who sit up in the box and make fun of Fozzie Bear. But it's just, your mic sucks. You got terrible taste in video games.
I remember them at Disney. I went to Disney last year, and yeah, they're like fucking just shit on the show the whole time.
Did you see the 3D show?
Yeah, it's always 3D, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good times. Even though, like, I think all the people in the background are still from like 1989 or something, so like it's 3D, but it's like 1989 3D, and people are wearing, like weird Skechers or something.
That attraction was actually the very last Muppets thing that Jim Henson ever worked on before he died.
Oh man,
it was the last one. So that's Jim doing Kermit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've done that one many times.
Yeah, it's always one of my go-to ones. I think the Star Wars thing just opened up there, like a new Star Wars something or other. I heard something about
that. I had done the Star Wars attraction a bunch, like their old version. They had something called Star Tours, where you would go and it's kind of like a generic robot thing. Hey, we're gonna go through space, but that has since been refurbished for the new generation of Star Wars, and I have not been on it since then.
It's gonna be all freaking Adam Driver or something, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I did bring up Kotaku here, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, what do you got on Kotaku? Anything good?
All right. So the first thing says, woman says Oculus Rift co-founder put his hand up her skirt during VR demo. That's the first article. So.
All right. So here's my question.
Yes.
Did he?
Probably not.
Because I mean, that would be bad if he did. I mean, you don't do that. Not a.
I don't actually click on these. I just put them in on my show to like have stuff to say.
I feel like that. I don't know. It doesn't really sound like consumer news, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then like some Zelda pictures, and then there's a guy in a polo shirt. I don't really know. I don't really know what this website is like.
You don't know what Kotaku's about anymore?
No. There's a picture of a Dorito. Oh, wait, no. Nacho Bell is killing the wrong taco.
I think there is a Kotaku article, like random headline generator, that's solid comedy gold. If you give me a second, let's see if I can find it.
Sure.
All right.
Oh wait, here's literally this is also like two things over. Same top headline news. 2 women accuse Skyrim composer Jeremy Soule of sexual misconduct. So some more video game news for you.
Okay. Did he do the sexual misconduct?
In this picture, it looks like yes, but probably not.
I don't.
It looks like he's undressing himself, and this thing's like grabbing his.
We don't know anything anymore, which is the problem. All right, boys and girls. Yeah. So we're gonna do the gaming journalism headline generator, and you can find this at https://kaction.com/Kotaku. So I kind of want to play a game where I read a randomly generated headline and then a real headline, and you have to guess which is which. But just as a baseline, let's try. Let's try a couple random ones just so you can see what they come up with. Watch a teen beat Diablo in Super Mario Maker. All right. Other headlines. When will we learn that Rock Band needs to offer more player choice? All right.
Pretty sure the Rock Band one is real.
This Deus Ex painting will singe your mouth. All right. This man wants to recreate Duke Nukem in the middle of Times Square.
Oh, jeez. The Duke Nukem one is probably fake, or like the real one, because people hate Duke Nukem because he has testosterone.
Those are all fake.
Oh, okay.
Those are all fake.
Well, the Mario Diablo one would be cool though if it were real.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I would say those are all clearly fluff pieces that we could have seen on Kotaku.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty weird stuff. I don't even know where to. That's another thing. I don't really follow like the newest games coming out, so
Yeah.
I don't even know where to even do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't
Can you get
know.
a site?
I look at this website and it's like I don't think I'm in the target demo. I don't know, man. What for me, gaming news comes from memes. It comes from the front pages of Steam and GOG. It comes from being subscribed to like newsletters from Humble Bundle and whatnot, where the cheap games are. I think that might be it. I think I might have just like totally blocked out all games journalism. I used to follow Rock Paper Shotgun years ago because they did PC gaming and stuff, but I didn't stop for any. I don't think there was any particular thing that got me to stop. Like there was no moment where I was like, I'm not reading this website anymore because you guys said things that I didn't like, and now I'm all offended, and I'm in this camp and you guys are in that camp, and we can't be friends. No, there's never any moment like that. It's just like, okay, I just want to go back and play Quake again.
Like, well, yeah, I think just like maybe a GameSpot website and YouTube for a long time was kind of like, okay, there's going to be a new Fallout coming out. That's neat.
Yeah.
But I don't like look. I don't know. And also for a long time, I like the way stuff is like cheap. Anyways, like,
yeah.
Do I need Red Dead Redemption 2? For $60 and then spend another $60 on like new horses or something.
This man wants to recreate Red Dead Redemption 2 in Times Square.
It's not real, or maybe it is.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. Do you ever watch YouTubers?
Well, right when you were like, I need like another few minutes before you come on, I was like, I'm gonna look at the latest BitHead video, and I'm watching God Tier BitHead talk about the TurboGrafx Mini 16. He's fucking spurging out about it, and it's been amazing. But
there were a couple of mornings watching BitHead 1000 in my 1 hour before I go to work when he gets so angry, and it's like, holy crap, man! I feel like I'm getting yelled at by my dad.
Yeah, he's like, he does get right in your face and go, "With the fucking face!" Or, like, let me tell you something. On Long Island, I did 2 sandwiches or something. I'm like, oh.
We never did that back in the 80s. We had a paper route.
Yes. Oh my god, he is totally like. I think Mecha Menace commented on this. Shout out to Mecha Menace. Like, BitHead kind of goes to another level these days in a way. And he definitely is taking on the Bill Burr kind of, image. But he's still the greatest,
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Like, I don't know. If I met him in real life, he'd probably beat the shit out of me. I don't know. Maybe it would be the good, good time.
That's what I like about him, though, because I don't get that impression. I get the impression where if you met him in real life, a lot of that would be, I mean, I think he saves, I think he saves the rage for his little shed.
True.
Because I like to picture that shed that he does his show in as like, if you're outside, standing in the yard, looking at the shed, just hearing somebody scream obscenities.
Yes.
At no one at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's true. He does go out there at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then sometimes he wears like funny. He usually wears a white shirt, but sometimes he'll wear like 3 like North Face jackets, or he'll wear like a. Sorry for custom. He wear like a polo shirt or something with like sailboats on it.
Yeah. It always got me in the winter months when he would go out there in like the Long Island winter and, barely tolerable weather. And
his breath.
Yeah, his breath. Oh my gosh, the coffee.
Yeah. And then he takes the first sip of coffee. He's like, like it's killing him. Like it's burning his tongue. I'm like, dude, just wait. And his wife is from Colombia or something, so it's fucking like this. It's just espresso. It's not even coffee. So he's having like 10 cups of coffee with a sip.
Sure, yeah.
He's the goat.
Yeah, he's the best. He's like the last scion of YouTube past.
So Happy Console Gamer, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think you are either. Shouted him out recently, and he's been exploding with all this stuff lately, but he only got like 1,000 bump from that, which I was kind of secretly excited for. Like, no, I want to keep BitHead to myself.
Yeah.
So he went from like 15,000 to 16,000 with that shout out.
I like the idea that he's enjoying some success because now he's got a Patreon, so he's got people supporting him, and that's when he got the bump. So it was a bump he could actually like monetize and use because he's like a working class guy with. He's a working class guy with a $10,000 PC Engine collection.
That's true. Yeah, he's got like 7 jobs, I think. But okay, in this latest video to the TurboGrafx one, he talks about his stuff got demonetized, and like one of it is because he did that N64 made of metal with flames shooting out. Did you see that?
I saw him testing it on Twitter, but I haven't watched that video yet.
I don't have a Twitter, but I saw the video and it's really cool. But apparently YouTube, one of the things is that's like weaponized something, and there's other things he got like demonetized or something recently. So
well, I mean, he built his cabinet for the expensive game, the Wallet Buster games, is a giant penis. So
that's true. That's true. Yes.
To the point where, like, look, when I'm at the gym, our gyms have like a big tablet in front of it, and I could bring up like a YouTube video to watch while I'm on the treadmill. I can't bring up Bithead anymore because he's got a big dong in the background.
I used to bring it up on like a TV type thing.
Yeah. So I'd be doing my couple miles and or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to get kicked out of my gym. So
Go ahead.
I have a feeling that like eventually YouTube's gonna catch on to the fact that there's genitals in every episode, and he's gonna suffer a wave of demonetization, and it's gonna be pretty brutal for him.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. Like, I don't know, but I do appreciate that he's still like, even though he does play up the gimmick, like he's a real dude. Like, I'm gonna put a dick if I want. I'm gonna have TurboGrafx guy in the background.
Yeah.
But
he's definitely made like a one-of-a-kind kind of Playhouse sort of deal.
It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse, but for Long Island 45-year-old psychopath.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think a lot of his venting is also like, he's got like at least 2 jobs, a kid, his wife. I'm sure she's a lovely lady. Seems like a pain in the ass. So he gets in his little tool shed, and he can just be like, God damn it,
It all comes out, yeah. Did you see his Let's Play of, what was it? He's only done a couple of Let's Plays, but he did one, like, last year of, I can't think of the Nintendo game now. Wizards and Warriors, that was it. And he didn't film it in his shed. He filmed it in the house.
I think I've watched all of his Let's Plays. He did them because he only did a few, yeah.
But halfway through, his wife comes in, like, while he's filming. She gets some in the camera's face. She's like, "Hi everyone, I'm Bithead 1000. Look at my video games."
Poor guy.
Yeah,
he's got it rough. I know he does. I do remember before. I think it was before he actually tied the knot and had the kid and everything. But he was at a yard sale or garage sale thing, and he picks up a action figure of Teela from He-Man, and you see her on he films her, and he puts it right in front of her face. He goes, "Look, honey, it's Teela. She's hotter than you are." She's just like, "Fuck you." She's a nice lady, I'm sure.
I haven't seen that one. Oh yeah, I'm sure. He's just dealing with being married.
Yeah. The feels, yeah.
Yeah, man. I gotta catch up on Bithead. He started amping up his video production after his Patreon came out, and I found it hard to keep up.
Yeah, like he has like 2 1-hour videos a week, so.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's cool, man. Good for him.
Good times. Any I feel like it's probably you probably need to hit the road soon. Any last DVD talk? I feel like this is our time as PC casuals yourself and hardcore Xbox gamers myself.
I'm about to prestige level Dwight for the 3rd time.
Oh, nice.
To reach maximum prestige levelings, being able to walk around with the face drenched in blood, which is pretty sweet.
So, after playing it for so much, like I think the only reason to prestige literally is just to have the cool blood stuff at the end.
Yeah.
But goddamn, I love it, man. So, more power to you.
Did you ever experience getting any better perks after prestige leveling?
I didn't. That's the thing, is I heard that. Super perks, but
Yeah, I didn't either. As a matter of fact, like I got the best perks really quickly at the beginning, and then when I prestige leveled, it was harder each time.
oh, also, this week for the Shrine of Secrets, there is Hex Ruin, which I think I highly recommend getting. It's a
I
hack
got it.
perk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's everybody. Yeah, Hex. Here's the thing about Hex Ruin. Hex Ruin is one of the reasons why when I play Dead by Daylight as a survivor, I have to be on Discord, no matter how cringy it is. That's the way I have to play, because that's the only way you can fight Hex Ruin. It's like, all right, it's Hex Ruin.
Hate it, man.
Everybody fan out, and we're gonna find this totem, and we're gonna take it down.
As much, I play Killer, so I love it. When I play Survivor, like the second I see that little red skill check thing, I'm like, I want to die.
Do you have any sort of conditions that make you auto disconnect?
Oh, that made me just quit the game. Well, when I play Killer, really no. I mean, I've just kind of a few times on each side. As Survivor, I'm trying to think. I hate Freddy. I think he's an asshole. I hate the Doctor. Same thing.
Yeah, Doctor's pretty terrible.
I think no. I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll just be a sissy boy and be like Mrr, and quit. But for the most part, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I love it.
I was gonna try not cuss this episode. I apologize.
That's okay. They still, I like it that they still just let you quit without any consequences.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're starting games that come out now are starting to clamp down on that kind of thing. Like you cannot rage quit Street Fighter V, or you will only be able to play with the rage quitters.
Oh damn!
And that's like a really brutal. I mean, it's a good policy because you can win, you can actually win, and people won't drop on you. But when you're in a losing streak, and it's all over, all F4 looks pretty tempting. Well, all right, my man. Thank you for a couple of things, for being part of episode 300, and for finally becoming a real person and not just a podcast. Like,
right on.
It was nice to have a talk with the world famous Death Adder.
Samesies.
Because I remember when the Super Show started coming out, those were like big time premieres, and everybody was getting excited when those. It's serious, man. I clearly remember being on not Skype, but the Google Hangout that we use,
Mm-hmm.
and talking to Alex Swingle and Sean about, hey, did you guys hear the new Death Adder Super Show?
Oh my god.
Conversations that really happened. So good on you, because we.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, well, definitely. Slide the MP3 to me so I can steal it and pretend like this is part of my own thing too.
Sure.
And it was good talking to you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too. Later.
So that's the show. My special thanks to Death Adder for stopping in and hanging out on Discord for a while so that we could record our bit. Catch his show, the Death Adder Super Show. He posted on thenextround.net, and he also has his own blogger site where you can catch each episode. They're good stuff, man, and he's a good guy. So thanks to him. Thanks to everybody who listens and who writes in comments. Big props to Palm84. Keep doing what you do, brother. And if you're whatever it is you have to do this week, whatever it is that you're not looking forward to taking care of, I just want to encourage you to put your head down and charge forward right at it like a bull, because that's the only way to smash through problems in life, is to take them head on. And while I might not be the most eloquent with words, that certainly is what I believe, and I'm certainly wishing you well. I'm rooting for you. I really am. By the way, I mentioned this on my Patreon account. If we ever do make it to $100 on Patreon by some miracle, this is really going to happen. I'll really push TCR to 2 hours every single week. So this is a 2-hour show, and I didn't plan it that way. It just kind of fell that way. So that's just a little food for thought for you guys out there. And with that, I'll see you next week. Have a good one.